Good to go, Todd.
Thanks for listening to the Android Experience podcast. This is a show where we keep you posted on what's new in the world of Google and Android and share our experiences with the platform. This is episode number 10 on Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. I'm your host, Todd Wright, and I'm joined by my co-host, Patrick Fergadamo and Bill Stebbins. How's it going, guys?
What's up?
Pretty good. How about you, Bill?
I'm full of turkey.
Full of something.
At
least that's what people tell me. I'm full of something. I don't know.
You're always full of something.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into the show today. First of up, what's happening? High-profile app releases and updates. First one on our list, it looks like Google is bringing its phone and contacts apps to the Play Store.
I got the updates today, and I was super excited. I mean, one of the cool things that Android does very well is they break off most all of their core apps into the Play Store so they can update those separately. So like on iOS, any of the apps they want to update, they have to issue a full system update, whereas Google can just push out Play Store updates. And so phone and contacts were two of the apps that weren't out there yet, and they just pushed them. And so that's cool, but I was really excited because the phone dialer now includes a call blocking feature.
I can block Donnie now when he calls me?
Yeah. So what happens is, I was helping a friend of mine with it. It works two different ways. So when you get a call and you go into the call history, you just long press on it and you can block that caller. But you'll get two different messages we found. If you just use the carrier voicemail, it'll tell you that you won't receive their calls, but that you may get voicemails from them. But if you have a Google Voice account like I do, and you're using that as your voicemail provider, then it'll tell you that you won't get calls or voicemails from them. The voicemails get automatically deleted. So that's pretty sweet.
Very cool.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I'm back on the Note 5, so.
Well, you already have some call blocking built into that. I mean, Nexus phones were kind of lacking anything at all in that. I don't know about you guys, but since I use Google Voice, I don't even keep track of my own phone number, like the one on my phone, but I always seem to get some spam call, and that spam call will come in on the other number that I can't block, and it's annoying. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. I like this idea too, and the more they add to this, the more it's gonna be good too for people who have like those gimped out, like if you have an Amazon device and things of that sort, where if you can access Play Store, you can sideload and have the actual Android core apps on your device, especially if it's a tablet or something where they left it out, that functionality, and so it's nice.
Yep. So anyway, I kind of talked way more about that because it's not a huge update, but I was kind of excited just because of the call blocking feature.
Well, I think it's a pretty important feature, and I'm glad I'm sure all the Nexus users will be glad to get that.
Yeah, apparently it's you can install it if you have Marshmallow, but right now I think only one other device besides Nexus have that.
And I think it maybe said iPhone and contacts app, so we're glad they didn't bring any kind of new iPhone apps.
Yeah.
Speaking of app, looks like LinkedIn got a facelift. Or any big LinkedIn users here on the panel?
I use it. I won't say I'm a big user. I actually didn't notice that they had updated it. We work with them as part of my job, so I didn't really even pay attention. I have it installed because when I meet with them, I want to not be so ignorant about their product.
For mine, I use it more to kind of keep in touch with people I went to school with as they kind of starting moving up into the job world, because it's always good to know those contacts. So because it's more like professional Facebook, but I like the updates and stuff they do it now too, because as an attorney, sometimes we have to look up people. And so it's a good way to kind of find out if this is who this is, and then get some information, background information. And so anything to make it more user friendly is always good.
Yeah, that way you can figure out who's making the big money, so you can hit them up for a loan if you need to. Okay, I guess next we have the news of Google rolling out the ability to make partial payments with Play Store credit.
Supposedly this is something that they haven't fully rolled it out, so it's kind of a trickle out. But what's cool about it is, who hasn't had that random 50 cents or whatever left in your Play Store credit, and it just sits there because you don't have something that's that amount. They're apparently fixing it now, so you can use that as part of the payment and just pay the balance with whatever your payment is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
That was always annoying when you had like 31 cents left in your Google Play account.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating because that's the way a lot of these people, when they give you rebates back with a like a prepaid debit card, they do that for that reason, is so you won't spend all of the money. So you'll have some odd little bit left over. So it's good to see Google making a change there.
That, and like the casino, who gives you the chips and you can only spend them there.
Yeah.
So I guess the next big thing is LG, who I'm sure most of you early in the phase, they were big into the whole Google TV stuff. They've actually announced, at least in 104 countries, they're going to roll out Google Movies and TV support to their smart TVs. And because LG, their relationship with Google, they're trying to add that experience into people's smart TVs. I don't have an LG smart TV, so haven't been able to check that out. But
so is this for all their smart TVs? Because I know some of their newer ones actually don't use Android, but it's actually they're based on the
WebOS.
Yeah, WebOS.
And yes, this is specifically for the most part for those WebOS TVs, so that they're gonna have Google Movies and TV support built it as an app in the WebOS app.
Yeah, that's the thing about Google. They would like people to use Android, but if they can get their apps in front of people's eyeballs, they don't care what it's running on. So
exactly.
And that's good for us. That gives them a kind of the advantage of being in a lot of places. So, like for me, being a Hangouts user, I have a lot of friends that still have iPhones for whatever reason, and they can use Hangouts too. It doesn't really matter that they're on a different platform. So
right.
That benefits me as well.
Yeah, and I think a big thing that's going to be good with this is with the Google Movies, and we've talked about this before, Disney's Anywhere experience they're trying to do now. If you link your Google account to your Disney Anywhere account, anytime you buy something that's Disney's movies, you automatically have access to those now in your Google account on your Google link devices for Google Movies. So it's another way you will be able to watch your movies on your TV without having to have DVDs or anything else.
That's cool.
So Star Wars, the VR experience has now come out to Google Cardboard, and they're supporting the. It's basically an app. I haven't tried it yet because I just got a new viewer right before the show. Verizon, for anybody who's technically, I know when I went in the store, they didn't ask me if I was a Verizon customer. They just had a display, and you could just jack whatever you wanted.
Oh,
but
wow.
They have the little cardboard ones, the Verizon edition for The Force Awakens, and so they have 4 different designs that are available. So if someone who's wanted to try out Google Cardboard, stop by your Verizon store that's near you. They probably have a display. Worst case, just let them think you're thinking about switching to Verizon, and if they give you any grief.
So that answered one or two of my questions. So you're saying you don't have to be a Verizon customer.
All I can say is my experience when I went to the store, they had a display. They didn't ever ask me if I was a Verizon customer or not. They just had it up there near the register. And if you're in there just scoping thinking about switching over there and you grab one, they're just there for you to grab. So, I mean, obviously your stores may have different things depending where you're at, but I know the one I went to today on my way home from work, it just had a display. You could grab what you wanted.
And that's based on Cardboard 2.0, is that correct? What's the button look like on top? Is it got the little magnetic thing, or it's got the button? So that's Google Cardboard 2.0. So that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's got the little button on the top.
The Stormtrooper looks pretty cool. I think the Kylo Ren would be
the black box. Yeah. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, this is one of the few times where I don't really mind having the Verizon logo on the side of something.
You put a sticker on that.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. A little whiteout on this one. But I mean, it's one of those. It's a cool way. If you ever thought about trying it out, it's a good chance to go and just go pick up one that it's a good quality one, and so you can try it out. And then they have the app. They're actually the VR app is in Google Cardboard, but it's also out for iOS. So if you have the VR setup, you can use either of your devices.
Does yours have the little QC code or whatever, the scan on top? Yeah,
mine's on the bottom.
Yeah, it's on the bottom. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So I mean, it's pretty cool and it's free. So free is always great.
Wait, it was free?
So, yeah, you just grab it off the display. They just had it on the display. You just grab what you want.
I missed that part. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've got one that's it's like yours, but it's just kind of a generic. But yeah, I had to pay like $20 for that thing or something.
Yeah, this thing, just grab it, walk out the store. You're free.
Yeah, free advertisement for Verizon and Star Wars.
That's exactly what it is. And how much you want to bet these things go on sale on eBay at some point for a lot of money?
I'm sure they will eventually.
I bet they're on there now.
You're probably right.
I wish I'd have known they were free. I'd have went by the Verizon store.
So I'm assuming, Bill, you put this next one in here.
Yeah, so it's almost the end of the year, and where's my Google Music family thing, Google? I was so looking forward to, holy crap, set of 4, $100 or best offer. Here's one, $43 or best offer for one.
Are you kidding me?
Holy
I bet those are gone. I bet those are gone in any stores now.
They still had a bunch at one of the stores I went to. I went to another one just to kind of check out because I was trying to get some information if Verizon was officially supporting the 6P yet or not. And the first store, the guy had no clue. And so I went to, but that's where I got the one I have. I went to the second store. He goes, we got the display in, but he goes, we haven't got the actual units in yet. So he goes, they probably won't come in maybe tomorrow or within the next week. So I'm going to keep an eye out there too.
So they're going for, it looks like about $30 a piece or $100 for a full set.
Wow.
Wow.
Welcome
I wonder
to
how
the
many
world of Star Wars collectibles.
I wonder how many of those.
That's the sold price.
Sold price. Wow.
Wow. I'm wondering how many of those accounts are by people who work at Verizon stores that jacked those this morning at work.
Oh. I mean, if you could make if you got a set of 4 for $100, you could make quite a bit of money on that. People are insane.
Wow.
So sorry. So the Google Music Family Plan hasn't released yet. They said later this year, and I'm kind of limping along with my personal account because we have a family account where we do all of our stuff. So I have to sit through these ads on YouTube. And I'm like, what the hell? Because my plan is to leave my main family account, as the main one, and then share it with the rest of my family, including my own. But I don't know. Hopefully we hear something soon. That's really the only reason I put it on there, because I'm interested in it, and I know a lot of other people. Even if they don't have families, they have friends they were going to split the bill with, and apparently that'll work too.
I'm wondering if this is going to become the new. Oh, we're announcing this at CES.
Oh, CES. I really want to go back to CES.
I've never been. I want to go. But a bunch of us were supposed to go this last year, and I think we all chickened out.
I
Yeah, we
went
were gonna do that a couple years ago, and
5 years
the
ago.
year after you went, Bill.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was supposed to go that year, and I can't remember what happened. Something came up, and I couldn't go. Something with, I don't remember. Oh well. Say la vie. So next thing I put in here, Santa Tracker. It's back and better than ever, and it has more Android Wear features. And if you have kids, nephews, cousins, brothers, sisters, this is really cool because you can actually Chromecast with this, and you can put the Santa Tracker up on your TV. So that's become kind of a family
Well, that's
thing
cool.
for us in the last few years. That while we're having dinner or whatever, we've got the Santa Tracker up on the screen, and it's gone from me having my phone or whatever plugged into HDMI to now I can just Chromecast it up on the screen, and the kids will go in and check on it. Where's Santa now? Oh, I better get to bed. So that's a pretty cool thing that Google does with that.
I might try it out. I'm pretty sure I'm getting coal in my stocking, but
You're not getting cold. Krampus is showing up for you.
oh, okay, all right.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my stocking burned up a couple years ago. So,
Oh,
yeah, so I don't have a stocking anymore, I don't think.
Your
I'll
stocking became cold.
give you one of my old socks, Bill. I'll send it to you. Might want to wash it first, though.
Yeah, probably.
With bleach.
The final app that I have was Adobe Clip, and it's based on Adobe Premiere. It's an app for Android, and it lets you do video editing. And so far, I've played with it for a few minutes, and it seems to be pretty straightforward. It lets you take some videos and mash them together with a soundtrack, and you can either do that by yourself manually, or you can just select automatic. But it's free. You need an Adobe account, which most of us probably already have. If you're paying for their Creative Cloud stuff, you already have an account. Just sign in, and then you can sync that stuff over to your computer as well.
Interesting.
Yep. So that's something we don't have a lot of good apps for on Android is video editing.
Yeah, because for a while the only thing you could kind of do was the stuff with photos, where they had the thing where you could go into the studio thing and tweak and kind of edit stuff.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Well, I guess moving to kind of the only top story we have right now, it's been kind of a slow month, other than like lots of sales and people fighting on Black Friday. The NSA, it has expired the parts of the law that allowed them to just collect all of your phone information from your calls. Now, obviously, this sounds good because then now they have to go through the normal channels of going to a court and getting court orders for their carrier to give that information up. But the kind of the not so secret thing is they're going to get it because the courts almost always give them what they want.
Yeah, somebody with a rubber stamp.
And they usually don't even let you know until it's already been given. So.
Yeah, but at least this way you'll have a little bit of.
They're not just going to be doing mass data grabs.
Right. They'll at least have to go to a judge to get that. So.
Yeah. So I mean, at least we're making steps in the right direction, but I guess the real deal is that it's and the overall effect is not going to really matter in the long scale, because if they want it, they'll just go ask for it, and they'll come up with some reason to need massive amounts. But at least now they're not just doing it without any oversight.
Right.
So kind of a news section I created, kind of because sometimes we have miscellaneous news and other tidbits that people may be interested in. Call it the plus one. And one of the first things in there is, I don't know if any of you guys ever used Rdio.
Originally, when it first came out, I tried it for a little bit.
Because, I mean, I've got some friends that used to love it, and apparently a lot of people stopped loving it because they filed for bankruptcy. And so recently Pandora has announced that they've picked it up, and so they're going to integrate that into Pandora's stuff. How they'll integrate it, we don't know, but they've bought up basically Rdio, and I guess any of their patents and things that they may have on that software.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if what comes out of that. I mean, I've pretty much moved to Google Music and never looked back.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much the way I've been doing it. Um, it is really hard to go back, especially since you can upload. I think that's the key for me with
Well, the other
Google.
thing I like with Google Music is now with the YouTube Red, and I mean it
Oh
works
yeah,
for me on both iOS and Android, so it's perfect. So, Bill, were you the one who put this one in about Black Friday?
Yeah, I wasn't sure where to really stick that, but I know all of
It
us were
works.
on even Cyber Monday, kind of looking for deals and trying to pick stuff up. I was curious if you guys got anything.
Well, nothing for myself. That's the next check. But I ended up, we wanted to make sure we got stuff for my nieces and my nephew, my sister and I. So we made sure we ordered from the first part of the month and Black Friday just to make sure we got stuff in for Christmas. I actually got my niece one of those 3D pens that use the ABS and PLA filaments,
Oh yeah,
and
my daughter has that.
so I ended up getting her the one. It's I can't remember the name of it. It's the one. It's got better reviews than the original 3Doodler because this one can use the spools versus just the straight strips
Oh,
that the
nice.
3Doodler uses. And so we found lots of deals. They even have like glow in the dark ABS that you can use now with this stuff. And so
yeah, it's pretty
I got
cheap.
the pen for like $89, and then we got me and my sister each ordered like big packs of the spools. So I picked up like I think a 14 pack that's like 240 foot, and then it's like 14 different colors. And then my sister picked up one. It's 12 colors, but it's a double batch, so you get like 480 feet of ABS.
Dang.
And hers was like $30.
I like to check out one of those pens.
I'm curious. Once my niece gets it, I'm gonna see if I can let me play with it a little bit to see how it really works.
Yeah, because I go to the local makerspace and they're building printers and stuff and just seeing some of the cool stuff. But I've never seen anybody bring in one of the pens. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
I about to say on kind of that note, I also picked them up. We actually gave it to them early as kind of a gift, but it was one of those chocolate pens. I don't know if you've seen it where it draws with chocolate, but yeah, it's crap. You're better off just giving them put some baking chocolate like in a Ziploc, melt it, and then cut it to the tip and let them just squeeze it into a mold. It works better.
Wow. I don't guess I really bought anything specifically on Black Friday. I did. Um, so Cyber Monday, I did get I ordered the new Gear VR.
Oh,
And that's
nice.
supposed to be here Friday. I haven't had a chance to mess with that. I did have the Innovator Edition before for the Note 4, and then I sold the phone, so I sold that unit. So looks like they've got a lot of cool new software. One thing that was announced today was that they have released a web browser for it.
Interesting.
Everybody was like, why do you need a browser for Gear VR or for virtual reality? And then we'll like 360 videos and stuff on YouTube, and
Oh yeah.
My question is, why not?
why not? If you can do it, do it. So
Yep.
I'll be giving it a good review, and maybe I'll do the next Android experience with virtual reality or something.
That'd be interesting.
Hangouts app, that'd be awesome.
There you
Who
go.
is sitting there swaying back and forth looking like Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
So I ended up picking. I had some credit from some Best Buy Reward Zone stuff I needed to spend, so I actually ended up picking up a set of Astro A50s for my Xbox One. So they're 7.1 wireless headphones, and that'll let me play. I mean, I've got a really nice surround sound system downstairs, but sometimes it'd be nice just to have that off and play, when it's dark and everybody else is asleep upstairs, and I don't want to take a chance on waking them up. So I'm supposed to have that Friday. So I'm kind of excited. I tried just with some stereo headphones, and that works pretty well. But I really miss the 7.1, especially when I'm playing some of my games that people come up behind you. You want to be able to hear that they're behind you.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how that works. They had them on sale for $224 or something like that, which was a good deal. They're normally like $300.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Really good deal.
Yeah. So that's really all. Well, I got the Mattel. What was the?
Easy Bake Oven.
No, the VR thing, whatever that was.
Yeah.
The
Like
ones
the
that look
old
like.
school.
Yeah.
What do they call that thing?
I can't remember. It's not coming to me, but I ended up ordering it off
Viewmaster.
Amazon, and it was like $20. They were on sale.
The
And,
Viewmaster, right?
yeah, ViewMaster. That's it. And I ended up returning it already. It
Was it
didn't.
nothing good?
It was okay. I mean, it didn't fit my phone very well.
Okay.
And I don't know. I bought a couple other things over the last week, and I had purchased some Epic Labs Bluetooth headphones, which were great. They actually fit better than my Blue Buds, but they cut out if I had my phone in my pocket. Just we're only talking like 2 feet or whatever from my ears to my pocket, and they would cut out. So I returned those too. So I don't know. I think I like buying stuff more than I like actually having stuff. So I buy it and then I return it, and I'm like, that was fulfilling. So that's my dumb Black Friday stuff.
Very cool. I got a Surface Pro 4, but I got it way before Black Friday, so it really don't count. But
He's done bought stuff and sent it back.
I'm done. Yeah, right.
I'm guilty of that.
So I guess next we have our buy or sell or rapid fire segment about the latest news and rumors. Looks like first up on the list we have Push Bullet Pro. It looks like here we have 100 gigs and premium features with a 1 gig transfer limit for $39.99 a year.
Yeah, I kind of put that one in there because I was curious to see what Bill thought, because he was the one that kind of introduced me to Push Bullet. And then I saw you uninstalled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this would be a good one to talk about because didn't they recently just they created the Pro line and then took features out of the free version?
Yeah. Yeah, yep. And I think that's where their downfall was. They didn't approach it the right way. I mean, they tried to be transparent about why they were doing it, and I get that, but you don't give somebody something and then take it away and then try and charge money. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
When you look at what Feedly did, they developed a pro level for their RSS reader. They didn't take stuff away. They added more functionality that you could pay for it or not.
It justified the money versus extorting you it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people kind of took Push Bullet's tactics as extortion.
Right.
I mean, there was an article floating around from an Android site that will not be named that equated it to a shakedown by the mob. Which, yeah.
I was going to say, as a Sicilian, I don't know if I should be incensed or not.
But that jackass article aside, I mean, it was just not good planning and not a good way to approach that.
Yeah, not good PR for them.
Yeah, terrible PR. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. I mean, there's a lot of Push Bullet stuff that was really cool, but I ended up just finding that I was using mostly just pushing links to myself, and there's plenty of other ways I can do that. If I'm looking at something on my desktop and I want it on my phone or vice versa.
Yeah.
That was what I was using it for. So I gave up.
Yeah, I hadn't really used it, and I was basically using it for the same reason, just to kind of push stuff occasionally, but basically to myself, to my laptop or something, so I didn't have to go back and look up if I found something I was looking for, type thing. So the next thing we have is the Amazon Cloud Drive. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it yet. They have their unlimited plan, which who knows if that's going to get capped at some point. But it's normally $59.99 a year, which is not terrible for what it allows you to do, considering how much it costs for like just a terabyte and stuff for the other ones. But for right now, and I checked it right before the show, and you could still get it. You can get it for a year for $5 right now.
That's a pretty good deal. I mean, especially if you wanted a second or a third way to back up your photos.
Well, and they have a photo plan which you get for free with Prime.
Right.
But this lets you upload any kind of documents unlimited. And so I actually looked at it because I started doing the math on how much it would cost me to upgrade storage. I had a 3 terabyte drive that it was giving me issues. I finally had to go get one of those little docks to make it work. And so I was worried because I thought I had lost a lot of stuff that I had that was back from like college years and things of that stuff, old MP3s, some different movie files, all kind of Word documents and stuff. And so I was like, well, I could try to do physical backups and things of that, but that just takes up room. If I want to try to split it off into separate accounts, it just didn't seem to work well. And so I saw this, and then I signed up for the trial, and then I think 2 days later there was a tweet out by somebody on Twitter, and it said, right now the deal, $5 for a year. Okay, cancel trial, $5. Boom, done. And I mean, it's not as good as Dropbox in the sense that you don't have like linking and sharing of features and stuff like that. But if what you're looking for is a cloud-based backup of your stuff, it works pretty well. I mean, the client, the desktop client is but I'm using a Mac, so maybe their PC one's better. It's not like just drag and drop like you do with, say, like Drive or Dropbox. You actually have to select the photos you want, the files you want, and then it uploads it, and it takes a while. But if what you're looking for is massive amount of data you want to back up, it's good for that, and that's $5. That's great. And I mean, even at the $60, I was like, that's fine to have as much storage as I want backed up.
I'm sure.
Patrick,
I hope your internet's not running on that Amazon Cloud Drive.
You should have sprung for the $10 a month plan. Well, we lost Patrick, but I guess we can still continue on while he's trying to get back in, right?
Yeah, we can. Sure, that'd be fine.
Yeah, he'll be back in a second. So the Moto 360 Sport was announced to be coming out in early January in the U.S., and I'm still kind of interested in this thing because I kind of like the idea of having a sport watch. It kind of looks like a Swatch watch,
right?
I think it only comes in the 42 millimeter. Is that right?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't really checked the Sport out. That would make sense though, especially at the $299 price.
Yeah. So I need to look at that because I actually have a Swatch watch that looks similar to one of those, and I've always been a fan of that. So I may end up picking one up. I mean, $299 is a decent price, and if you can kind of, get it through Motorola, you can use their whatever they have, 6 months, no interest. So that's not but like $50 a month. Might do that. I kind of dig the way it looks.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool. There's some really, really good Android Wear devices coming out right now. I noticed a new one just the other day that's getting ready to hit Kickstarter. That's it's actually got made out of, part of it at least, looks like it's made out of carbon fiber. And it's actually kind of like a real diver's watch where you can, it's not just water resistant. It'll go to like, I don't know how many atmospheres that is, but it's pretty cool. So I'm definitely happy to see all these different Android Wear devices because just more choice.
Yep. Yeah, it says here that they're going to have this thing in Best Buy stores too by the 10th of January. So that's actually a pretty good deal.
All right, Patrick. We got you back now?
Yeah.
Did you
Apparently,
forget to pay for your $5 for your?
no. Chrome gave me that message that says you were kicked out because of authentication issues, whatever the hell that means. Apparently, there's an issue at Chrome, but which is funny because I was in Safari because for some reason Chrome hates to let you switch back and forth between your profiles.
Way to go, Bob.
Well, I blame it all on Google because if they would just freaking fix it so that Drive you could switch between your accounts without having to log out of everything, maybe then I wouldn't have to use two different browsers to be able to access show notes in one thing and broadcast in the other.
Yeah,
Blah.
I agree. Jerks.
Fix it. So the last thing is Google Play users. Right now it's the U.S. only, so that's kind of sucks for anybody who's out there. They've now set it, and we've talked about this in the past. You can now send credits for Google Play credits to other people through the email. There's supposed to be a little thing on the side where you can click to send credits to gift, and you can gift credits through email. I guess it's almost as good as being able to gift an app, but perfect time for it though around Christmas.
Yep. But I have not bought any Google Play credit or anything in like 2 years. I've gotten some for Christmas, and then between the phones that I bought from Google that came with the credit, and it seems like every other month they're giving me free movies on my Chromecasts.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where I can't redeem all my codes anymore because it says I've redeemed too many codes for my account.
That's awesome.
Yep. Gotta love it.
I'm kind of curious to see what it's getting about the time of year where usually Google Movies they have like the free movie for the Christmas gift one.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Well, did you get the updated Play Store?
I did.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I like it.
Especially considering I have it on this old 2-year-old Note 3.
I bet I would have it on this if I fired it up. 4G, baby. I bet it's not even charged.
Oh, it would have lost its charge, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have it with me in here right now, but I could one up you on that. I found digging through a pile of crap the worst phone ever made.
The Thunderbolt?
No, this one the Thunderbolt is like Harvard to this other phone. Samsung Instinct.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Was that the non-Google Android phone?
No, this was the Samsung's iPhone killer with a resistive touch screen.
Oh wow.
And it was supposed to get an app store and all these other things and never got it. I mean, it literally is probably the worst phone I've ever owned, and that's
it was a resistive screen.
Yeah, resistive touch.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it's easily the worst phone I've ever owned.
It's coming to life. Wonder if I can get
it's
it.
It's alive.
Oh, it's blinking at me. It's like I'm really dead. Leave me alone. Well, follow me on Twitter. I'll update you on whether or not I get the new Play Store on it.
Frankenbell.
That's hilarious.
So, Bill, you got some products you want to tell us about?
Yeah, I do. I can't remember if I had the Kangaroo PC when we did our last podcast. Do you guys remember me talking about it?
I think you were talking about.
We did. Yeah, you're talking about ordering it, but you hadn't got it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's basically a PC about the size of my Nexus 6P. It's a full Windows 10 PC, and it's portable. It has a 4-hour battery. It has a small dock so you can put your HDMI and your it's got a USB 3 and a USB 2 port. It's $99 or less on Newegg, and it's running one of the Atom, one of the newer Atom processors, 2 gigs of RAM. It has a micro SD card slot. I think it's 32 gigs of storage. And I've had it for about a month, and I was using it kind of just toting it around with me or whatnot, but I finally decided to go ahead and just hook it up in my home theater and use it for my torrent stuff. And so, Windows 10 a couple weeks ago was doing 10-cent movies if you got them through the Windows 10 store, and so that's how I did it. I was able to rent the movies and watch them from that. And aside from a couple small hiccups from other movies I was playing that were off my server, not off the stream, it worked brilliantly. I mean, for $99, it's a crazy good deal. It doesn't use hardly any power, so I just leave it powered on in my closet all the time. You can use it headless. You can also hook it up to an iPad and use that as the monitor. So if you want to be completely wireless and untethered or mobile, you just use an iPad. And I think the software is coming out for Android as well. But it's pretty interesting stuff. And if you're on the fence about it, don't get it and expect you're going to be able to play high bitrate MKVs or anything like that with it. But for normal everyday stuff, I mean, you could Velcro it behind a monitor and have a.
Now that thing also has a little dock.
Yeah.
With some expansion. Does that come with it, or is that extra?
That comes with it. You actually have to use the dock if you're going to plug anything into it.
Okay.
But it also has a fingerprint reader that's built in, so you can log in with that as well. I mean, I'll tell you, for the money, I was expecting it to be a piece of junk, and it's a Windows 10 machine. Hell, the license for Windows 10 costs more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So if you're in need of something like that, you can definitely do worse. I mean, I haven't used a Raspberry Pi, but they're like what, $35.
35, right?
Yeah, and they're not super powerful. I mean, this thing isn't like gonna set anything on fire, but I had an old net top that was running my torrent stuff, and this runs circles around that, so I just turned that thing off.
Yeah, the Atom's it's a capable CPU. I mean, like you said, you're not going to be running 4K videos on it, or playing Destiny, or you can't play Destiny. Play any kind of.
You can.
Huh?
I did. You can do Xbox streaming on it. I was playing Halo from it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, nice. It's not perfect, but it works. So I had a Xbox One in the other room. And I was like, I want to see how this works. And I was like, holy crap, I'm playing Halo on this little bitty box.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I was blown away by the device for a $99 price tag. Even more than that, it's pretty freaking awesome. So that's my kind of thumbs up on that one. I did get a couple Chromecast audios on the 2 for $50 deal over the weekend. And got those in yesterday and got those hooked up, set up super easy. They do exactly what I wanted them to do, which is play music or whatever from my phone to my surround sound receiver. The good thing here is that when you do the Chromecast audio, you're not casting everything from your device, so notifications don't interrupt the music playback or anything like that. And $25, you can't really go wrong. I had one of those Moto Streams set up, and it's Bluetooth, which is kind of a pain. Even though it had NFC pairing, it's still kind of a pain to set up. So if you have people that come over, like we've got speakers out on our deck by our pool, and if somebody came over and wanted to help DJ, they really couldn't because they would have to go inside and set up the Bluetooth, and it just got to be a big pain. So.
I actually bought one of those myself. I didn't get the good 2 for $50 deal like you did, but I'm kind of impressed. I've got one of the older Jawbone jam boxes. So I just hooked that to the input.
Yeah.
And then hooked the power into both so that I wouldn't have to worry about keeping the jam box charged up. So now I've got a nice little audio streamer that I can stream from any Android device in my house.
Yeah, and because it's using Wi-Fi, it's a whole lot a larger range than the Bluetooth stuff.
Right.
And you can disconnect your phone and it still plays. And
Yeah. So most of the time, what I'm using it for is for Pocket Cast and to do my podcasts and stuff
yeah,
to listen
yeah,
to.
yeah. So highly recommended. If I mean, at $25, it's a steal. I mean, we look at some of the other devices that we've bought over the last couple of years to do this that are, 5 or 10 times that to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who needs Sonos?
Well, it was a lot cheaper anyway.
Yeah, and supposedly you're going to be able to start linking these up at some point where they will play, in separate zones but be in sync, which
That will be awesome.
Yeah, really cool. So, I've got one downstairs in my theater and then one upstairs in the living room, and being able to have the same music playing in multiple areas and not getting a bunch of echoing and stuff because it's out of sync will be fantastic. So, one of the other things we wanted to talk about is the Nexus 5X and 6P. I've had my 6P for about a month. Todd, you had a 5X there for a while as well.
Yeah, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I had a 5X, and I'll tell you, the 5X definitely was a mid-range device. I was sort of happy with it till I got the 6P, and then it was.
Then you got spoiled.
Yeah, and I'm like, this 5X is going back. Now,
Yeah.
the 6P, I mean, there's been some stories and videos and whatnot of like people bending them in half and stuff. I'm not super hard on my devices anyway, but you really would have to try to break this thing to break it. It's just like if I ran my car into a concrete barrier, sure, it's going to blow up, it's going to crash, and don't do that. I mean, in normal everyday usage, you're not going to try and bend your phone in half. If you put it in your back,
yeah, it shouldn't even go into that video because the dude right before that heated the stupid metal up. Anybody knows anything about structural design, and the screen was scratched.
oh
So
yeah,
that thing was begging to be. It was compromised
Well, the
already,
thing,
so it wouldn't have been hard.
well, the thing is, the people that do these videos, you're the reason we have warnings on devices. You're the reason that says, do not put your baby in the microwave, do not
They
put
can't do that.
flammable stuff. I mean, some of these people, you're just like, really? Did you need to not know not to do that? I mean, to me, it's the same thing with the iPhone with the 6 Plus when they had the whole thing of the bending because you put it in your back pocket. Well, damn, put something that's bigger than your pocket in your back pocket and sit on it. It's not going to stay flat.
Yeah.
I mean, look at your wallet.
yeah.
So I like the Nexus 5X, and if you're looking for more of a mid-range device, I think it's the perfect one to get. Especially, it looks like they're coming out with some specials on it here lately. I think Amazon's now selling it, and a few other people are
Yeah,
selling
there
it.
was a Black Friday one for like $80 off or something like that.
Yeah, so if you're wanting a good, second device or some other type of mid-range device, or if you just don't have a lot of cash, it's a good phone. It's just after, and I don't have a 6P yet, but I've used one, and so it's like after you use the 6P, it's like it's just not in the same league. I don't think.
It just doesn't slow down. Like the 6P is the first Android device where I've not had stutters, lags at all. The other ones like the 6 I got occasionally, but for the most part it was really smooth. Speaking of which, they had the Nexus 6 on a Black Friday deal for $199 brand new.
Wow.
And I almost bought one just because it was so damn cheap. But anyway, the 6P, the camera on it, the camera is fantastic for me. I mean, the pictures that I'm getting out of this thing, 99.9% of them are great. Even in low light and whatnot, I'm not having any problems with the camera at all. And they added auto HDR, so it takes HDR when it needs to, and otherwise you don't have to worry about it.
Do you have a case on yours?
Yeah, I have a Bug Droid case. So same case as what I had on the 5X. I don't know if you can see it. I've got a D brand. Hold on. the Nexus letters, they're
Mhm.
white on mine, so you can see them through the case. Because on the black or whatever the charcoal graphite Nexus 6P, they're black, so you can't even tell what it is. Yeah, I'm a dork. So
You said it.
it booted up. Yay! Oh crap! It's so slow. Wow.
So booting up Windows 3.1.
Yeah, it's probably on. What would it be on? Cupcake? Donut? I don't know. It's on something old. I'm gonna look.
Eclair.
Let me see.
Maybe gingerbread.
I'll be honest. I don't even know how the hell to get into the settings. I'm getting all my daughter's notifications. Holy crap. Yeah, I'll just. That's awesome. Okay, sorry.
Squirrel.
All right, I guess to go on, looking at our picks from the panel, I'll go ahead and go first. So back some time ago, I had bought a Gear S2, just one of the standard ones, and it was pretty good. But the one thing I really didn't like was the fact that even though it had those easy to remove uh, armbands for it, you're still stuck with the fact that you have to uh, buy bands, only buy bands that would fit that, that little slip-in mechanism. So
Yeah.
finally, I was at Best Buy about a week ago and was just messing around looking at the smartwatches, and I noticed that they now had in stock the Gear S2 Classic. So
Oh.
that is my pick, my plus one. It's really nice. It uses the and standard bands. Its metal is really nice. The cool thing is with the Gear S2, you have the rotating bezel, and this one has kind of got a little bit of a, I don't know, we call it a knurl or something, but it's definitely
World.
yeah, it's knurled, so you definitely can flip through it pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a really pretty watch too. So that's my pick. And evidently, we could have put this in news also. Rumor has it that they are working on a Gear Manager app for iOS. So if that happens, then they will have one of the only watches that will work on Android, or it'll more than just the Samsung phone. It'll work on Android and iOS.
That's not called Pebble.
Well, I think these things too will work on the Tizen phones that they have in other countries. But anyway,
Huh.
I thought that was pretty cool. So that was my pick for the week.
Nice.
What about you, Bill?
I had a -1, and I woke up one morning and OnePlus was selling an iPhone case. I'm just like, what? I don't know if you need an invite, or I think what they said was that it comes with an invite to buy the OnePlus X or
Right.
whatever. But it's an ugly case. I mean, the only redeeming quality is that it's got that sandstone finish.
Right.
Like, what are those guys doing?
It's just a bit. They do all kinds of crazy things, and I'm not sure. It has to be just some kind of promotional deal just to get their name out. Because really, I mean, if you
In the words of Rick
iPhone,
James, cocaine is a hell of a drug.
well, if you own an iPhone, you're probably not going to be a candidate for a OnePlus anything.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they think their case is all that in a bag of chips or whatever, but
I don't know, but I
they won't
just
get people to switch from their iPhones to. But I don't know.
yeah. So that was my WTF moment. I don't know what they're doing. It's crazy.
Whatever they're smoking, I wish they'd pass it around.
Yeah.
Patrick, what about you? What do you have for us this week?
So I'm slowly picking back up the gaming bug, especially after a couple episodes ago where we had Jeff and everything back on here. The Xbox One, for those who don't know, the last update this past month brought backwards compatibility for some Xbox 360 games. There are some hardware games that will play. They have a list like Black Ops, the original Black Ops will play. Several of the Halos, Gears of War 3, and several other ones, which I was happy because those are ones I have. But the best part of it is that they've announced that now all of the Xbox 360 games that you got with the games with gold will work on the Xbox One. And so there's now an incentive to go back and pick up both every month if you have an Xbox One, because you'll be able to play those games through your Xbox One without ever having to have physical media. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. That was a good deal.
So I mean, I've always been a big fan of backwards compatibility. I keep waiting. If Sony will get off their butt and get it done right, I'll go ahead and buy a PS4. But otherwise, I'm going to stick with my PS3 that plays my PS2 and 1 games.
There you go.
And I don't know. I thought about getting a console, but I just don't need a console. All my gaming is done on this PC, so. But that would definitely be a big draw. I mean, just being able to play older stuff. Because I had a Xbox One. I mean, a Xbox 360 some time back. So.
And I mean, if you're a person who's been using the games with gold free downloads, this is really good because now you have all those games you had from like the last year are now on your one.
And like you said, it's no media too.
Well, because they were also letting you, when you had the 360, you could download the Xbox One games or claim them so that when you bought your Xbox One, you had them available. So now it's a real no-brainer. You take all the ones you've been having, plus all those Xbox One games you may have been claiming, and you have them all there. I mean, I picked up some really good games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Halo, Spartan Assault, got it for free. Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider collection one. I mean, they've had some good games.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's my pick. I think it's pretty good. So it's one of those, especially with the deals they've been having on the 360 consoles, and the fact that the 360 you can just plug any hard drive into it you want and increase your storage space. It's a no-brainer.
All right. So I guess next, I don't think we had a game for this episode for the Playmaker Challenge. So if you want to tweet us at AXP Podcast and use the Playmaker Challenge hashtag, then it's just to suggest a game that we can use.
Yeah, try to bring it back, get it going, especially now that there's 3 of us. Just if you have any suggestions of games, tweet us out, and we'll be happy to play.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that the last update or 2 for play games is actually really pretty nice.
Yes, it is.
So with that, let's let everybody know how they can reach us and the crew. Todd, let everybody know how they can reach you.
Best way to reach me is at Todd W on Twitter. That's pretty much it.
How about you, Bill?
At Bill Stebbins on Twitter and BillStebbins.com for everything else. I'm super easy to find on the internet.
He is the internet.
He is super easy. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason we call him Bill the Internet Stebbins. So for me, you can find me on Twitter, handle LSU Law 2009. So with that, you can find us by simply searching for the Android Experience or TechSide in your podcast client of choice, or you can subscribe to the show in iTunes or now in Google. Once Google Podcast gets going, we're set up for that. Please take the time to leave us a review and comment. Alternatively, we have another link for our non-iTunes listeners, so you can find in our show notes. We have a Patreon page. This gives our dedicated and loyal listeners an opportunity to support the podcast as well as the other network podcasts for as little as $1 a month. And if you'd like to support us, visit our support page at patreon.com/techside. Leave us a comment on Twitter at AXP Podcast, or email the network at axp@techside.net. So check out our website at techside.net/AXP, and also be able to be sure to check out all our other great podcasts, blogs, photo galleries, and the TechSide store on techside.net. We thank you all for listening, and goodbye and good night.
See ya.
Later.